Hey, it's your man StyleCon coming at you today with another video from the Cigar Shed. You got the AJ Fernandez New World, sorry, label's gone. Rocking out with the Grand Seiko today. Now, let's get into today's topic of discussion. Now, as you know, my videos are for average collectors. Obviously, those of you out there that have more money than God, this is not for you. But those that are on a budget, this video is for you. And you say, StyleCon, what are we talking about today? We're talking about today, before you purchase your watch, check on the maintenance costs. You say, StyleCon, maintenance? What's that? It's like, well, in case you need to get it fixed. And if you need to get it fixed, you want to find out. StyleCon to give you a brief example. StyleCon used to be a car guy. I was always in the Hondas, Toyotas. StyleCon decided one day he wanted to get a BMW. So he went out and bought a BMW. Guess what? That car nickeled and dimed me to death because I didn't check out the maintenance. I know I could afford it. I liked the car. I liked the way it drove. I kept that car for a long time, but every time I turn around, it was something, and it wasn't cheap to get fixed. So, like I said, my videos are for average collectors. Now, like I said, depending upon what you want to do with your collection, once again, it's your money, you do whatever you want to do. But if you want to buy a $500 to $1,000 watch, and somebody wants to charge you $250 to $400 to get it serviced, it's not worth it. It's half the value of the watch. You do not want to do that. Or if you run across a bargain. I've seen some Breguets that I really like. What's that, like the Type 20, 21? Sometimes you can find those for $5,000. You go, oh man, a Breguet for $5,000. Well, you might want to check out that service cost. It's not going to be $250. It's not going to be $400. It's not going to be $500. Depending upon what it might need and where it might need to get shipped to, you could be looking at a mint. You say, oh man, it's going to cost me $1,000, $1,200. I wasn't planning on spending that kind of money. So when you're out here as the average collector on an average salary, and you're looking at mechanical watches, you really do want to consider the maintenance first. You don't want to be like me in that BMW. That was a lesson learned. I didn't realize the cost. I wasn't even thinking about the cost. Never even crossed my mind. It's like, I can afford the car. I like it. I took it for a test drive. I was in love with it. It's like, I'm buying it. And I did. And throughout the years, that car nickeled and dimed me every chance it could. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not a watch, and depending upon how long you have it. So, I've checked out YouTubers. They've had watches for 15, 20 years, never had it serviced. Great, But if you are one of those types of people that like to have, like me, I like to have my cars maintained. I like to have my house maintained. If something goes wrong, I want to get it fixed or get it looked at. And if you're that type of person, when you're considering buying a watch, there's other things like I've talked in previous videos, cost per wear, but maintenance cost is up there. Now, like me, StyleCon got himself a Swatch System 51, Irony Arrow. Had the watch for a couple years, very rarely ever wore that thing. I had it for maybe 2-3 years, and I probably wore it 10 times, and the watch seized up on me one day. And then here it is. I forget what I paid for that watch, like $230. Now it's a disposable watch. So with any of that, depending upon the spectrum and where your money lies, if it's a $500 or $1,000 watch, and the maintenance cost could be X amount of dollars before you buy it, it's like, okay, I may not want that watch. But now, say if you go into the $2,000, $3,000 range, you go, okay, the service is $500 and it's every 5-6 years. Okay, that's not bad. It's $100 a year, as long as you're wearing the watch all the time. But now when you do find these bargains and some of these, mid-range, that's what I call like $5,000, $10,000 watches, like, man, this watch is how much? And it's on sale for how much? Oh, that was a $15,000 watch. Now I can get it for $3,700. You better make sure that you can afford the maintenance if something goes wrong, because if it does go wrong and it needs to get fixed, you could be ass out on a lot of money. And on that note, it's your man StyleCon. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. If you have any questions or comments, as usual, leave them down below, and your man will check you out in the next video.